Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. I want to give you thanks for stopping by and clicking on my video to watch what I have to say. I want to share with you guys today my LASIK eye surgery experience. I did have LASIK surgery done about exactly a month ago. I would think a couple days over a month. And it's something that I had decided to do. Um, Decided to actually do it like a kind of spur of the moment thing, but thought about it for a very long time. Actually, I started wearing glasses when I was in sixth grade. Um, and since then, my vision has progressively gotten worse and worse. And it got to the point where I kind of like got scared of like, oh my gosh, how bad is it gonna get? Like, is it gonna be this any much worse than now? Like, it was just scary to think that, about it and how bad it was getting. So one day, actually, in November, I had my regular eye exam, my yearly eye checkup scheduled, and the day of my appointment, I woke up and I was getting ready, and my husband was like, "You know what? Why don't you just, we just use the money that you would spend today on glasses and just save that money and use it towards getting eye surgery for you." And I was like, "Seriously, you tell me today, like on the day of my appointment?" I mean, we had talked about it before, but he was just like really serious this time. And I was like, well, I guess, but I mean, I have to still, let me just still go to my eye appointment. He's like, "Just go get your eyes checked, but hold off on purchasing anything." And as a side note, I have my vision is really bad. I have a whole bunch of things that they do to my prescription and whatever. So when I buy glasses, between my frames and my lenses, I end up spending just on the frames and lenses about $500 every year to every 2 years. Um, and that's not including, whatever portion I have to pay for my eye exam. Plus, I also use contacts, which is another like couple $100. So, I mean, we've been doing this. My husband and I have been married for 11 years. I mean, we've been doing this, him and I together. I've been doing this way longer, but with him, it's been like 11 years of like $500 to 600, 700, 800 sometimes dollars. I mean, a year. And yes, sometimes some of that is like just being like, just being a little bit extra with getting like the designer lens frames and whatever. But I mean, it's what it is. So anyways, so I made the appointment for the following Saturday to go get my consultation. I went to the consultation, and actually that day they give you the paperwork to fill out, and at the bottom of the paperwork they tell you how ready are you on a scale of 1 to 10 to have the surgery done. And I said, I'm like at a 20. I was ready. I wanted to get it done because I told my husband, look, if we're going to do this, I want to get it done before the end of the year. He's like, whoa. So anyways, I went for the consult. They told me about it. They gave me the options of the different surgeries that they offer. They offer two different kinds. And I don't actually, another side note, I don't want to get in this video too into like the specifics of the types of surgeries, because to tell you the truth, I don't know very much enough about it to try to sit here and explain to you guys and have this be something educational. It's just more of an informative my experience kind of thing. And also, I don't want to get into details of like preparation and stuff like that, because when I started watching videos for other people's LASIK experience, I realized that the things that the restrictions they were given and the instructions they were given pre and post operatively differed a lot to what I was told by my doctor. So I realized everybody's doctors and whatever experience is different as far as what they tell you to do, what you can and can't do, and all these things. So I don't want to. I went into it thinking one thing was going to happen, and it's actually something else totally different was what I got. So I don't want to create false expectations or anything like that. So I'm going to leave that part of it out of it. Again, I'm just going to give you my experience. So back to the story. So I went for my consult. They told me how much it was going to cost. They had financing options, and we're like, okay, let's think about it. And like with the girl, my husband actually had to leave during the consult because we had our 3 kids with us, and the baby was just like not having it, and it was going to be like I still had to. They dilated my eyes, and I was still going to have to sit there and all this stuff. So he left. So I finished my appointment. At the end, they were like, okay, this is how much it is. When do you want to come in for your surgery? I was like, whoa, whoa, whoa. I got to talk to my husband about it. So I called him and he came back and we spoke about it. And at first he was like, no, let's just wait. And I was like, babe, let's just do it. I don't want to be back and forth because then another year is going to go by. I'm not going to get it done and whatever. So we decided to do it. And I opted, what I will say is that I opted for the I think it's called the bladeless surgery, in which the entire thing is done with lasers. It means the incision that they make into your cornea is not done with any blades. It's done with a laser beam. I guess. Laser beam. I don't know if that's a technical word for it, but it's a laser. So I had my appointment scheduled. I went in on for my consult on a Saturday. My surgery was scheduled for the Thursday, the following Thursday. So on that day, it was early in the morning, my appointment. So, I went in and with my husband, and I have to admit, I was nervous. Like like the days following up, leading up to the appointment day, I was nervous. I kept thinking about it. I tried to watch a couple videos before, and once I would get to the surgery part, I was like, no, I can't watch this. This is gonna make me freak out. Like if I watch this now, when this starts to happen to me, I'm gonna freak out. So I didn't watch anything. And it, it's important for me to say that I am not the type of person that has ever freaked out about anything. I never had a nervous breakdown. I've never had like a panic attack. Like I feel like I'm a little bit, I'm pretty cool, calm and collected when in situations. But I was truly like legit afraid that I was gonna have a freak out the day of the surgery. And I told my husband that I was like, I just hope that when it starts, I don't panic. So he was like, just, you'll be okay. So whatever, I went in, they gave you the volume so that, to calm your nerves, whatever. And I met with the surgeon before the surgery. And actually they told me on the day of the surgery that they do a scan when you get there of your cornea, whatever, like more tests right before the surgery. And when I had it done, the nurse said that the doctor saw the scan and gave him recommendation for me to get some plugs inserted into my tear ducts because I had very dry eyes. And in and of itself, the surgery is a very drying surgery for the eyes. So it was like to do a drying surgery on a dry eye was going to cause a lot of problems for me. So his recommendation that I get some little plugs that they put into your ducts that that they block up the tear ducts so that the tears don't drain out of your eyes. So I said, okay, we'll get that done. So, the doctor had any questions or whatever. So we went in for the surgery. And this is where my heart started beating so fast because you walk in, it's a pretty big room, and you see the machine. And one thing that got me the first thing that got me was the fact that they lay you down on the table. And I don't know why. Once I laid down on the table and I found myself like laying completely flat on my back on this like cold, sterile, hard bed, like my heart started beating pretty fast and I got a little scared. So, but I started, just calming myself down in my mind, whatever the doctor spoke to me, he was like, trying to, well, just talk to me, keep me calm, whatever. So then, when you're laying there, then they put the numbing drops into your eyes. Now, this is where it led up to the only time that I like my true like moment of like, oh, this is when it started. So they start putting the numbing drops in your eyes and they burn a little bit. I mean, they're like whatever, it's not like anything drastic, but they burn. So they started off with this eye and then she put them in, and when they burn, like I started like squeezing my eyes shut, and like because it's like when you get soap in your eye and you can't open your eye because it burns. So she put it in this eye, and when she went to go start on the left eye, I couldn't really open my eye because my natural instinct was to shut them. So so she was like she tried several times to get the drops into the eye before she got anything in there. So they let you sit for a little bit for the numbing medication to take effect, and they start. So when they start on this side, it was fine. The doctor talks you through it, look at the light, da da da, and it was fine. I didn't really feel anything on this eye. I mean, they of course they tape out shut the other eye, and then they hold your eyeball open with some things there. I don't know what they're called. So, and it was fine. I was like, okay, just follow the instructions, whatever. So he did it. He was like, perfect. Shut that eye. Went to go open this one. When they started lowering the machine, because the machine, from what I've read, and if I got this correctly, it's like it has this part that's like a little contact lens kind of that goes onto your eye and it suctions onto your eye, and then the laser starts. So when that started to lower onto my eye, I kind of like felt when it touched my eye. And at that moment, I kind of like freaked because I realized that when it went to my right eye, I didn't really feel anything, but now I did. So my mind started playing tricks, and I'm like, oh my gosh, what if the numbing medication didn't work on this eye? And what if I feel it once they start lasering my eye? So at this moment, I'm like, I'm like pretty close to starting to hyperventilate. My heart is like beating really fast, as I can tell at this point because it already happened leading up to when the laser were going to start. So like I started like breathing like, And I think the doctor noticed because like he was like telling me, okay, it's okay, you're doing great. And then he was like, okay, here we go. And that's when I held my breath and I was like, oh my God, I'm gonna die. I thought I was gonna die. I thought it was gonna be like piercing pain, but I didn't feel anything. I didn't feel any pain. I did feel sensations, as you know, where in this eye I didn't, but it wasn't painful. So he did this eye with they cut it open, blah, blah, blah. So then when that's done, they move you to the next part of the machine. And so you're sitting here with your eyes closed and like they're spinning you like in this chair. And it was just so wonky and so weird. So they move you to the next section and this is when they actually they lift up the flap to then do the second part of the laser with the correction part. So with that part, I think he kind of noticed that like I had some difference of sensation because he requested the nurse to put some more numbing medication on this eye, but not on this one. So he started working. They take some. At the moment you don't know what's happening, but after watching the video, I realized that they take some kind of like instrument that goes under the flap and starts like separating it to lift it up. So he was working on that. He did it. He was like, look at the light, look at the laser, and you can see the laser, like some lights, and you can kind of see when it's happening. And my whole thing during the thing at this point, my next freak out was, oh my gosh, what if like I have to like, for some reason I like look away and like the lasers like laser beam some other part of my eye that doesn't need to be lasered, and like so I was like overthinking things. So that overthinking is what made me so nervous throughout the procedure. But later on, I learned that the machine is set up so that if you do look away, the machine stops. It doesn't continue to laser, and once you speak, you look back to where you're supposed to. It starts where it stopped. It stopped off previously. So, anyways, they finished this eye, then they went to this one. Again, this eye had more trouble because of the fact that my eyes were so dry. The doctor said afterwards that it was harder for him to separate the flap on this one because of the dryness of the eye. So he was working on it a little bit. Like it took him about like 2 minutes, a minute or two, a minute and a half or 2 minutes to be able to separate this, to like lift up the flap on this one. So at this moment I'm thinking, oh my gosh, what's going on? So that's the third freak out. So I'm just like, oh my gosh, and I'm just like breathing heavy, and I'm like just like my hands, I'm like wringing my hands and my feet are like whatever. So finally he did that part, finished the surgery, and then after that was done, I had to get up and they moved me to like this other place where I was actually sitting this time and like in front of like a microscope kind of thing, and that's where they put the little plugs into my tear ducts. This part was also fairly simple. It was just like I didn't see what he grabbed because at this point everything was blurry because I mean I just had the surgery. But they like put like it's like a little punch, like it goes in here and then in here. He checks um into the microscope, sees everything's fine, and then he put a contact lens on this eye. They get like a very low prescription contact lens, and sometimes he says that they use that because they use it like as a band-aid. He says some doctors always use it. He tends to use it as needed. So this eye was super dry, and I guess the dryness could affect the adhesion of the flap, like for it to heal again. So he put a contact lens on there, and when I came back the next day, he was going to remove it because you have to come back the next day. Well, at least I did, and I think most people do also. So that was it. I left I had to. One thing that I have found that is standard is that they tell you once you go home, you have to have your eyes closed for at least 4 hours. The more, the better. So I walked out of the office. When I walked out, I could see, but it looked like, I don't know if you've ever had the experience of, when you go swimming and you have your eyes open in the water, and like at the end of the day, like when you finish like the chlorine, your eyes start burning and like you see cloudy. That's how I saw, was the cloudiness of like swimming in a pool all day with fresh chlorine. But I got home, I slept for the amount of time that they told me to. My nails are jacked. I slept for the amount of the time that they told me to. I woke up, ate dinner, spent some time with my kids, went back to bed. The next day I went for my appointment, and the doctor said that I was already pretty close to 2020 the day after. I wasn't at 2020 yet, and of course the blurriness was still there, but everything else was great. So I went, after the surgery, day by day, with every day that passed, my vision cleared up. It took about 3 days, 2.5 to 3 days for my vision to clear up as far as the fogginess completely. I wasn't able to drive at night, however, for like about a week because of the fact that even now I have this problem, but it's not as bad. When any bright lights tend to have a halo around them, and that is a side effect of the surgery. I'm hoping that it goes away. I have heard of some people like they have to just deal with it for, but some other people it goes away. I have my sister's friend who had it says that hers cleared up within like 2 months. So I'm praying that it goes away because it's just annoying. I mean, it's not a terrible inconvenience. I can see, I can see perfectly right now. So, I mean, that's a small price to pay. But it's just at night mostly also. So it's whatever. So I went back today, this morning, for my 1 month checkup. And the doctor says I'm at 2020. I'm seeing 2020, but still not completely as sharp as I guess it could be. He says with time it will get better. I did improve from the last time that I went. I went up to 2020 because I wasn't at 2020 yet. I went up to 2020. Just, the whole sharpness is going to improve and the halo is going to improve, he said. So other than that, he says that my eye has healed, the incision, I guess, has healed completely, perfectly. The only thing is that there's still a lot of dryness in my eyes. So I still have to use wetting drops, like artificial tears, 4 times a day for 2 more months. And I have another follow-up in 3 months. And so that's in March. So I'm hoping that by then I will be seeing completely, perfect, and that the halos go away. Other than that, I would recommend this surgery to anyone who can have it. It has changed my life in a lot of different ways. Like, it's for the better, of course, and it's not, I don't want to be like all drastic and melodramatic or anything, but it has changed my life. I don't have to think about in the morning, have that extra time to put on contacts. And for a lot of people, contacts is whatever. And most of the time for me, putting on contacts was fine, but there were those days where, the contacts just don't want to cooperate and it takes you an hour to get your contacts in. And then the whole hassle of them drying out throughout the day and moving and whatever. So it's like I don't have to deal with that. I don't have to deal with my almost 1-year-old son slapping my glasses off my face or my glasses. We live in Florida, and my sister and I hate the fact that we always have the issue that we'll buy the cutest glasses and a month later they're already like falling off our faces because they say that the humidity of Florida expands the plastic. So you always have like glasses down here, and it's like, oh, whatever. I know, first world problems. At least, we had glasses. We could get glasses, whatever, to be able to see. But those are the little things that I feel like, yes, it has, but, improved my daily life. And the fact that I can just see, it's like, not sometimes, just about every day, I still wake up, if I wake up in the middle of the night, if my son is crying or for whatever reason, like I still find myself like reaching out to my night table to look for my glasses. I'm like, oh wait, I don't need those. Or when I come home at night, I'm like, oh, I gotta take off my contacts. I'm like, wait, I don't have to take off my contacts. I can see. So it's like, I'm still adjusting to it. It's crazy. It's been a month and I still haven't gotten used to the fact that I don't use glasses. Sometimes before I go to sleep, like my routine was, before stand in front of my night table, take off my whatever, and then take off my glasses and put them down on the nightstand. And like sometimes I find myself like going like this at night. I'm like, oh wait, I don't have glasses anymore. I don't need to do that. Or, again, reaching out, whatever, or like out of habit, I'll go like this, like if I was gonna lift up my glasses and like, oh, there's nothing there. So yeah, I recommend the surgery. If you have the ability to do it, I recommend it. It's not as scary as it seems. Yes, it was the freakiest thing I have ever done, but it's such a short procedure. I asked my husband how long I took, and he said like less than like 5 minutes. Like he sat down and opened his phone and like opened his email, and the time it took to like load everything that he was going to do, like I was already done. He didn't even get to start doing what he had planned to do. So it's like a super quick thing. So, I mean, and the medicine they give you does help. And I mean, the side effects for me have been minimal in comparison to the benefits. So that's my story. I will try to do another quick update when I go back for my 3-month checkup and update on where my vision is at that time. Other than that, I want to again thank you for watching and for visiting me again, and I'll see you again, guys, in my next video. Bye.